So there's been a bit of a dust-up regarding the Tennessee Pass. A new formation of a bike trail group has formed out of Eagle County, looking to cite the Norfolk Southern Union Pacific merger as an opportunity to get the state to put pressure upon Union Pacific to give them the line, likely they want it for free, in its entirety or in sections so they can tear it up and put in a bike trail. This is not a new effort, as when the line was first not abandoned, but out of service, put into out of service, dormant, in the late 90s, there was a similar effort with a lot of kind of fancy pants legislation that really didn't have any teeth or traction, but they still feel as though they are owed their trail. Now, rails to trails is a bit of a soft spot in the transit community, but typically in America, where we already have ripped up so much of our rail already, we really don't have many rail lines to spare, especially ones that are useful and go useful places or connect useful things to each other. So we're not exactly living in the land of plenty when it comes to rail, and usually the people behind these types of initiatives also are of that demographic that enjoyed the land of plenty during the latter half of the 20th century, and they saw rail as surplus to requirements. They've always had new cars, they've always had cheap fuel, and everything they've ever seen delivered has been by semi-truck. So as far as they're concerned, rail is an outdated 19th century relic that just needs to go by the wayside so we can take our fancy e-bikes up Tennessee Pass. Now, as far as an actual rail trail agreement with sharing the alignment, there are opportunities there. You could do rails and trails and really maximize the value of the line by allowing both of these modes of transportation to take advantage of this rail line. So we're not exactly wanting for more bike infrastructure, but we definitely are wanting for more rail infrastructure, especially in a place that is very difficult to build long term. So the actual steps required to turn this thing into a rail trail exist, but they are very long, legal, and expensive. You'd need to get formal abandonment. The line would have to go up for bid to other railroads, and then after that, someone would have to pay the net liquidation value, which is the cost of the demolition, minus whatever scrap value you get for the rails and the metal you would take up along the way. So that's quite a pretty penny, and to ask the state to pressure a private company to give up a privately built asset and then have that asset publicly bought up and using public dollars to dismantle it, either in whole or in sections, that's a lot of money just for a bike trail. And the funny thing is that in Eagle County, they already do have a bike trail network that pretty much goes end to end of the county. The only part that's kind of lacking is that last little section up into Minturn, and something can probably be figured out there. But they already have a very comprehensive trail network in parallel to the existing line. So they're asking for a lot of redundancy for something they really don't need because they already have it. Meanwhile, they do not have a good rail connection. And if they look at the county over, if they look at the valley over, Aspen, they did pull up their rail line, they did put in a trail, and now the transit planners and urban planners of Aspen are scratching their head, realizing that they've built a very nice, world-class, expensive ski resort at the end of a box canyon with only a 2-lane highway serving it, because Independence Pass closes through the winter due to snow. So that's a bit of a problem. Aspen is getting a little bit of a rails to trails remorse, so maybe you should take heed and not box yourself in. So you're asking the state to buy up this rail line, pretty much destroy it, and then pave it with what, like a 6-foot wide pavement all the way up to the top? Okay, who's maintaining that? Is it going to be now maintained by the state? Are you going to send a plow up there in winter, or is this thing just not going to be used through the winter? How many people plan on riding a bike all the way up Tennessee Pass? How many people plan on doing that in winter? So you're really reducing the utility of the line, where alternatively you could have a rail line that works all year long. And if you want to go up to some of those awesome mountain biking trails up in Lake County, well, you can just throw the mountain bike on the train and ride it up that way. That seems a lot more useful and driving more economic value, because if we destroy this rail line and put in a trail from Minturn up to Leadville, well then what? We're going to increase bike sales in Eagle County by 10%. Meanwhile, the state now has destroyed a borderline billion-dollar asset, replaced it with a tens of millions of dollars of trail that now somebody has to maintain. So if we are to put public dollars into reinvesting into this line, it would serve the county much better as a rail line that could do many different things that a bike trail could not. We could have a rail line running between Glenwood Springs and Avon, stopping at the Eagle County Airport, providing a vital bypass for the notorious Glenwood Canyon, and a critical airport connection, enabling that airport to serve the county much better. We'd also enable workforce movements between western Eagle County and northern Lake County to access the jobs in eastern Eagle County. Lastly, with the gondola right next to the tracks down in Avon, we would effectively have Ski Train 2.0 right off the bat. All three of these are great reasons that benefit everyone of every economic class and every able body. So I'm going to take a moment to dissect some of the logic behind this trail push. Largely, this is a denial strategy aiming to pull off a scorched earth policy to make sure no one can use the line for anything because they're so afraid of oil trains going up the pass. The funny thing is, right now, they actually have oil trains in Eagle County running along the Colorado River on the Moffett subdivision. So if you're really anti-oil trains, you should be fighting that and selling your Escalade. Long term, if we're really trying to reduce oil usage, we should not be pulling up rail lines. Rail lines are one of the few things that actually can net reduce oil usage because of their inherent efficiency, regardless of what the locomotive is running on. So if you're truly worried about oil and its damages to the environment, you will support rail, you will not destroy rail. So, my questions for the Rails to Trails Consortium. Does a bike trail solve the problem of the workforce that lives up in Lake County getting to their place of work in Eagle County? No. Does a Rails to Trails solve the issue of people who've had one too many getting a safe ride home? No. Does a Rails to Trails solve the issue of EV affordability amongst the working class? No. Does Rails to Trails solve the problem of having a more comprehensive transportation network that works for everybody, regardless of their able body, at all seasons? No, it does not.